This is the Roller and the Stroller podcast. I'm Josiah, the roller, and I was born with cerebral palsy and navigate the world in a wheelchair alongside my best friend Kelly, the stroller.
In this podcast, we discuss living with a disability, adapting to surroundings in a wheelchair, and the challenges we face together. We talk about things like going to concerts, traveling, everyday tasks, and sports.
But also get into deeper topics like religion, self-talk, medical needs, and some of the frustrations of using a wheelchair. We will give insight on how to enjoy life with a disability
and share advice on how to understand someone with a disability.
Welcome to the Roller and the Stroller.
This podcast is a Sidewallstudios production. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Roller and the Stroller.
My name is Josiah. I'm your resident roller.
And I'm Kelly, and I am your stroller, Josiah. What are we talking about today?
Let's do this. Okay, so we've talked many times in this episode, or in this podcast, how there is no cure for cerebral palsy and there's no changing that I have cerebral palsy. Okay, and it recently dawned on me that these things I can't change often lead to things I don't think about because they're out of sight line or out of reach. So I kind of wanted to talk about those things today. So I'm going to tell you a funny story about what happened to me. All of a sudden last night, my thermostat is not kicking the heat on. So I leave it on overnight and maybe I'm thinking like maybe it'll take some time. But it's still not kicking on this morning because I have hardwood floors due to my wheelchair and it's easier to push on hardwood floors. It's 54 degrees inside in my home. That's cold for inside.
Nice and toasty.
So then I think, I gotta change the batteries of the thermostat. I take the little thing off the top, my little Honeywell machine, and then I change the batteries, put it back up on the wall mount where it's supposed to be, and then it's still not kicking on the heat. And then I'm like, and then all of a sudden it goes dark, like it doesn't show me anything, the temperature, nothing. So I'm like, we have a problem here with a breaker, because then I think it's the breaker. But the thing about my home is that my breaker box is out of reach for me. It is in my laundry room on top of the washers and dryers. But when I say on top, I mean it's like wall mounted. So, but there's a cabinet built around the breaker box, if you can envision what I mean. And so you can't move the breaker box. So if I really needed to, I could get up there, but I didn't really feel like climbing up the washer machine this morning. I called my father. Shout out, Dad.
Shout out to Dad.
And so I'm like, I sent him a picture. This is my thermostat. He's like, okay, I'm on my way. He's there in like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, great. And then he like flips the breakers and he's like, son, it's not the breakers. And then he's like, your breakers are good, but we flip them anyway, just make sure. And then he goes over the thermostat and then he takes the little back off. And then he notices little hinges in the back of my thermostat that are bent because I tried to put it on like a weirdo and I did it like a weirdo and I bent the hinges. So the battery was loosened. So he had to straighten that because I was like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And then he fixes that so then it turns on, like it shows the temperature, but the heat is still not kicking on. And then we're like, oh no, like a defective Honeywell machine thing. And then he goes down to my little crawl space and checks the furnace. And then he's like, I don't know what's going on. And then he figures out that my furnace is flipped upside down. So when it is off, it looks like it's on and vice versa. So he has to flip it right side up and then he has to turn it on. That was the problem. However, we noticed inside my home is that I cannot reach the breaker box. I bent the little hinges on my thermostat, trying to put it back on like a dummy, and then I cannot easily access where my furnace is. And these are some of the things I don't think about because I use a wheelchair. Because of my disability, they're out of sight and out of reach oftentimes. And he even said, my father even said, I wouldn't expect you to know all of this. Good, because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked about my gutters, how I have to clean out my gutters. And I was like, I didn't know that.
I don't think a lot of people know that.
Because they're out of reach for me. Right. So I have like blind spots because I use a wheelchair and because of my disability, right? Like I haven't even had to think about whether my furnace is flipped over the right way.
Yeah, we did an episode on the things that I never thought of until I met you. So this is kind of like the reverse. I really doubt you ever think about a gas tank or car maintenance.
No.
Or anything, or like mowing your lawn or like cleaning the gutters. Or I asked you the other day if you had an electrical outlet on the outside of your house. Was that the first time you ever thought of that?
Yep.
And
but then I recognize like my neighbors and everything have lights outside of their house.
Yeah.
So they must have
you probably
something.
have one, but you just don't know where it is.
I don't have
or
any.
It's hard to get to.
Yeah.
So
some of it is that, right? Like I knew immediately where my breaker box was. It's just hard for me to get to. I know where my furnace is. It's down below in my crawl space. But there's like a ladder and like it's really hard for me to get to.
Yeah.
And like some of it is that. Some of it is just ignorance. And then other things is like, I know where it is, I just can't get to it.
Right. Shout out to Dad, though. Shout out to Dad for being awake and coming over early in the morning. Shout out, Dad. You're the real MVP.
He is.
Of this morning.
He was like, oh, it's your furnace then.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay. Yeah. I don't know. Have you noticed any blind spots that I have because I haven't thought about these things or I can't reach them in like our interactions and our friendship? Have you noticed anything that was like, oh, of course you wouldn't think about this?
I think, I don't know, but the first thing that comes to mind is when I'm parking the car, I always try to find a spot because you don't have a placard. I try to find a spot where there's nobody on your side. And I don't know if you would ever think about that. I don't know if you would just like pick a parking spot and be like, whatever, but I'm trying to be cautious of your wheelchair hitting the other car or my car door hitting the other car because you put all your weight, when you're getting in your wheelchair, you put all the weight on my door, on the passenger door, and I don't want it to hit the other car. Also, when we come out of wherever we're coming out of, I don't want someone to be in the way. So I try my best to kind of park in an area where there's going to be a low chance of somebody parking on your side. I don't know if you've ever thought about that.
I do, actually.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Because I need room.
Yeah.
And I need to not cause damage to any other cars. Growing up, my siblings would help me with my wheelchair, but they would need space to get it out. Mm-hmm. So, like, I've always thought of, like, that. And I appreciate every time you do it.
Yeah. I appreciate
because I love you
for
so
doing
much.
that too. So much.
I love you so much.
I'm like, thank you, Past Kelly, for parking here because sometimes it do be crazy.
Bless up.
This is gonna. I'm sorry if this sounds mean, but I'm gonna try to. He's okay. I'm gonna try to put this in the most like honest way possible. But sometimes I think you might not be aware of sometimes how hard it can be for me to do things with you. The first thing that comes to mind is the Shine Mountain Zoo. Me pushing you up that freaking zoo. And I love to do it.
We're not going to do it.
We're going to go. We just have to find someone else because I can't push you because of my surgery. The point is like, I don't get mad at those things. It's just sometimes I wonder, like, do you think those things through? Like, this is a lot on Kelly to push me up the side of a mountain.
Probably not.
Okay.
To be honest with you. Here's the thing. I know it's a struggle.
It is.
Because I struggle. I guess I don't know like how much it would be. It's a lot.
It's and it's not your fault. It's the freaking zoo is, and we know that going in. This isn't like a surprise. We've been there like 4 times and we love it. But also the reverse side of that is how much anxiety you cause me going down the zoo. Josiah causes me a lot of anxiety.
I don't think about that.
I know you don't because I'm yelling at you as you're flying down in the dark because we go to this thing called Electric Safari and they light up the zoo not the middle of the night, at nighttime.
At nighttime when it's
and
dark.
all the animals come out and all the Christmas lights are on the zoo. So it's kind of really dark.
It's like lit up, but it's dark outside.
And Josiah flies down the mountain. And when I say mountain, it's a legitimate mountain. There's a reason why it's called Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. And he flies without his seatbelt, and it just drives me crazy. And we fight about it, not fight, but bicker about it every single year. And you're just like, just let me. And I'm like, fine.
You've only let me go twice.
Twice. I know. One time I would not let you go.
Because I think that is your concern, is letting me go. And like, that's why you don't want to go during your surgery. Because we could push me.
I can't push you up with my surgery.
Okay, then I can push me up.
Why can't we just bring someone else? I don't understand. It's a very steep. I know you can, but it's going to take us a while.
No, I'm completely fine with bringing somebody else.
Okay.
It's very special.
I know, but I'm just saying that's one of I think your blind spots is sometimes we might do something and my process is like figuring out how this is going to be easiest for me.
But then sometimes you don't tell me you're struggling with these things.
I don't tell you.
And then I don't know.
I don't know.
Like you only recently shared that you have an anxiety attack every time I go down the mountain.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
And but you don't hear me going, yeah, baby, woo!
Well, he flies.
And like,
but like, I wonder if you think about that sometimes. Like when we go to really crowded concerts, I mean, that's always going through my head. It's like, oh gosh, how am I gonna, like when you had to go to the bathroom in the middle of Arizona, did you see my face? Remember I said, are you serious?
Yep.
Remember? I looked at you and I was like, you're kidding.
I went to the bathroom and I came back. I
could not believe you got back to where Arizona was sold out, super packed. We were on the floor. And I told you before the show, I was like, you need to go to the bathroom as soon as we go in there. And then you're done. And you did. And I was like, then we're done. And then right before Arizona comes on, you look up at me and you're like, I have to go to the bathroom. And I look at him and I was like, are you serious? And I'm surprised you got back.
I got back.
It was packed.
I'm him.
It was packed.
I'm him. Yeah, it was sold out. Yeah. I'm him.
Do you think, another one. Speaking of concerts, we talked about why I'm so happy when Andy or Victor or Key comes with us, because they can either help me hold the spot or help you go to the restroom or whatever. Do you ever think that it might be difficult for me to hold the spot for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All the time.
It's hard. It's really hard.
I was like, during Arizona, I was like, there's no way I'm getting back, but I'm going to try my hardest.
Like at Thrice, I think it was, what show was it? It was the Denver show. It wasn't the Florida show. So it was with Victor when I had to hold you and Victor's spot. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
You didn't have to.
Victor would have killed me if I would have lost that spot.
I mean, I know. But I think, here's what I'll say. I think you think sometimes I can't do these things, Nemo, and I can.
I think I also think that people are going to be mean to you and not let you back in.
But look at my face. I'm so...
And the Cheyenne Mountain thing, it's not that I don't think that you can fly down this mountain, is I'm scared you're going to hit a crack in the...
Yeah, because you never know.
Flying. It's like not
you. The asphalt is cracked.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily you. I think it's more your surroundings. And I also don't like going somewhere with you where I don't know where you're at. Just because of like something terrible could happen and I want to know where you are. I just want to be where you are. So,
and I think that
because it hurts like hell. Great song. Arizona.
Yep. I don't think they played
They
that
didn't,
song.
which is one of my favorite songs. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
But I think oftentimes I get this thing inside my head of, you don't think that I will get back to my seat during Arizona, and I'm going to show you that I will. I think that's like a
it's like a challenge.
It's a bad thing to have in my mind, but it's not always bad.
Yeah.
I like the challenge.
See, we're different in the way that like you'll leave a place and you'll be like, excuse me, and you'll get back to your place. I'm the type of person that leaves and is too shy to be like, excuse me. And I'll just like stay on the side.
But sometimes I'm like, oh, if I if I give up now, like there's some concerts I don't move. Once we find, like Memphis May Fire didn't move, or maybe not Memphis
No,
May
you
Fire.
moved during Memphis.
Maybe like Law Dispute or like I Did Remember or something.
Yeah.
Like I did not move once we found a spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like because there's always
Bowling for soup, we couldn't move.
There was no way we were gonna move,
Mm-mm.
and I was like, I'm gonna have to like bite my lip or cross my legs or do something so like
wear a diaper.
the floodgates don't open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the seal doesn't break. Okay.
Right.
And then I made it through, and then I was like, Kelly, I've gotta pee right now.
Yeah. But okay, what other blind spots do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think you have
I don't
any?
know. I don't know if I have blind spots because I've always lived in a wheelchair with a disability through this perspective. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm sure there are blind spots. Like I have learned so many blind spots I have just today, but also this year.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaning out my gutters.
Also, this is random, but like Christmas decorations. When I talked about like, oh, we should put lights like on your place, and you're like, well, I can't reach the roof. But have you never thought of just like putting lights closer to the ground that you can reach?
No, that looks stupid.
No, it doesn't.
No, that doesn't look stupid.
Not like on the ground, just like spread them all over.
I don't want to have like tinsel, wheeling through tinsel.
No, ain't nobody want time for that.
No.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And like with lights, we always decorate your house. And in fact, we just did.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we had our best friend Guy, and then we watched a Christmas movie, had cookies and food, and decorated your Christmas tree, put up some decorations, and it was always great.
Josiah covers the lower part of the tree.
Yep. Always do. And now that I have a place that I can do that as well, this year you were like, can we decorate your place? And I was like, I don't have any lights or decorations.
You don't have anything.
I don't even know if I have an outlet outside.
Yeah.
And then you were like, oh,
Okay.
you probably do.
Speaking of which,
And you were so
I am officially giving you your first ever Christmas decoration. So I made this after Josiah told me.
Look how beautiful.
It's huge. I don't. For those listening, it's a wreath. It's a red and green wreath. I put green on it for cerebral palsy because that's the official color, right?
Yes.
It's not the prettiest in the world, but I made it.
I think it's beautiful.
And I have a bow to go onto it, but I didn't put it on it because I didn't know if you wanted a bow.
I'm going to hang it on my door. We can
Okay.
have bow. I'm
Okay,
pro
I have
bow.
You're pro.
I'm pro bow.
So there you go. That's Josiah's first ever official Christmas decoration. Well, from me, anyway. I don't know.
And it's hard to know that I have these blind spots until they come up. Like you and I were just talking. Like I will probably not know some things because they're out of sight, out of mind, or I've never had to think about them because of the fact that I use a wheelchair, or I might not even have considered that they are in hard places to reach for me until something happens to them, right? And then I try my best not to feel like an idiot or stupid in any way. And then my dad was very helpful this morning. He was like, it's not you. I didn't expect you to know any of this.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay. And it's like, I was like, okay. So that is very helpful. Because, you know, my first instinct is to feel stupid and like an idiot.
You're like, oh, I should have known that.
I should have known. Exactly. I should have known this.
Yeah, but some
Sometimes-
people aren't even in a wheelchair, have cerebral palsy, and don't know about that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't think you should be like, oh, I didn't know this because I'm in a wheelchair. I hope you don't feel that way.
Yeah. Well, maybe sometimes, but I was like, I don't. I'll say this. I think that thought has crossed my mind before. If I wasn't in a wheelchair, like I would know this. And because I'm in a wheelchair, I don't know this.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
I don't think it makes
I
sense.
wasn't feeling that way today. I was just like, oh, I literally cannot easily reach my breaker box or my furnace. And I tried to put my thermostat together properly. And I ended up breaking it. And I was like, oh no.
I know. Yeah, you do break a lot of things.
I do break a lot
have to say, you do break a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, your wheelchair scratches a lot of things, but it doesn't matter. Like, to me, I don't care.
And I broke your leg that one time.
You did,
remember?
yeah.
No, I'm
But,
kidding.
like, I don't care.
Kidding.
It doesn't bother me.
I
Like,
have never broken Kelly's leg.
But you have hit my ankles a lot.
On accident.
On accident. No, yeah, it wasn't. It's not like you're not mean about it.
Because you need to move.
Yeah.
But even... But even that, like, I would not hit your ankles out of anger. Even if we just had our biggest fight, and we've had some pretty big ones.
Yes, we have.
I wouldn't be like ramming your ankles because I was mad. Because that hurts.
It do.
That's not fun.
It do be hurting.
And every time I hit someone's ankles, I feel bad.
Yeah.
That's a blind spot that you have.
What? Getting hit by a wheelchair? Yeah. Or catching my fingers in your wheelchair?
In the spokes.
That hurts so bad, bro.
You got pinched once.
I got pinched.
One time only.
One time only, but that hurt so bad. My finger got stuck. It do be like that.
But now, for now that you have surgery, I have to take apart my wheelchair.
Yeah.
And put it up.
Mm-hmm.
These are things I can't change.
No.
Shout out story so far.
Shout out.
I love you. Do you have a musical recommendation?
Oh, shoot. I don't. Go first.
Because I will go first. And I know this episode is called Things I Can't Change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's after a Story So Far song, The Story So Far. But that's not my musical recommendation today.
Oh, no.
Kelly, what shirt am I wearing?
Taylor Swift.
Bingo! 1989 Taylor's version. I can't believe it has taken us this long to discuss it. Is with us. We have it. I have the vinyl. I've been streaming it. It showed up on my Spotify Wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a Volt song on it called Say Don't Go.
Okay.
And sometimes I just want to say don't go.
Okay.
To me, when I ever feel like down in the dumps about the things I can't change or the things I don't know, I'm like, say don't go. Don't go.
I don't want you to go down Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. Can I say that?
No.
Why? I don't want you to roll down the hill by yourself. Say don't go. Can I say don't go? I guess I need to learn that song.
You can say don't go.
Okay.
But you will have help.
I know.
We'll have our bestie Key.
I know. I just don't want to see you fall. That's all.
Have I ever fallen at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo?
No. Doesn't mean it won't happen. I'm just telling you, it'd be scary out there. Animals just be running everywhere.
Who?
The peacocks, bro.
The peacocks? We go out in the nighttime.
Oh, yeah, they're sleeping.
Yeah, they're sleeping. We don't see any animals.
Yeah, we do. The penguins are out. The rhinos are out. The giraffes.
And we've seen the giraffes.
The porcupine. Quilliam.
Quilliam? We love Quilliam.
We love Quilliam.
We've seen some gators.
We have seen some gators.
Some wolves.
We've seen some tiger. Okay, anyway, my song.
What is your musical recommendation today?
Except we always skip the birdhouse because you don't like the birds, and we skip the monkeys because I don't like the monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
But I think we can go to the birds.
All right, we can go to the monkeys.
I don't know.
We'll see. All right.
But we are going to go this year, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Snow, the chinchilla, the white chinchilla. Is her name Snowball or Snow?
Snow.
She's adorable. Love her. Okay. Quilliam is the MVP of our life.
G. Yeah.
Okay. My musical recommendation is actually from a band we're supposed to see next week, right? We're seeing them next week? Silverstein? Is that next week?
Silverstein? Yeah.
Oh my God. Gosh. Okay. It is my favorite Silverstein song that they never, ever play. But this is my favorite Silverstein song.
If we can get it to them so that they can play it.
Please play it.
During our date.
It's called Mirror Box. And it is my favorite Silverstein song. And they don't ever play it.
How does it go?
No one likes it except for me.
How does it go? I don't even think they like it, and they made it.
Oh, no. So anyway, go stream Taylor Swift, Say Don't Go, and Silverstein Mirror Box.
Mirror Box. How does it go?
A little bit broken. I'm not the only. I can't do his voice. It's so
his voice is great.
10 out of 10. All right. And
thank you for listening to this episode of The Roller and the Stroller. We really appreciate you. I have been Josiah. your resident roller.
And I'm Kelly, and I'm your stroller.
Bye.
BB.
Thank you for listening to the Roller and the Stroller podcast. We're rolling out.
This is a Sidewall Studios production.
Boom! Oh, we should keep that moving.